What up, gamers? We are back with some more modern action, and this time we've got some Grixis Wizards versus Gruul Hardened Scales. We've talked about it previously on the channel, how we do have quite a bit of Hardened Scale content in the queue for you to be able to enjoy. Of course, I'm NanMans. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We are going to break down the decks that we've got here and talk a little bit, but this is going to be a little bit of a silly one, a little bit of, you know, memey, as you will. Got some memes going on. The players just kind of joking and bantering throughout the match. There may be some periods where the audio gets a little bit louder as we get into it because some of these players have specifically requested certain parts to not get cut. So we'll see how it goes. But so Grixis Wizards, I mean, if you're familiar, there's basically been variations of the Is It style or Wizard style deck since Modern Horizons 3 has come out, and players have been kind of experimenting and trying to make something work with it. You basically rely on things like Tamiyo, Flame of Anor, Snapcaster Mage, basically the powerful wizard package. But by getting access to Grixis, you get access to Disruption, things like Inquisitions, Thoughtseize. You get access to a Psychic Frog. So, like, you're basically playing the best things within the Grixis color pie, and then be able to kind of utilize those powers with the backup of basically a wizard shell. So, you know, it's a very, very cool deck to be able to experiment. Of course, this Grixis Wizard player has played a couple different variations of Grixis lists on the channel before, like a Grixis food list, you know, different things like that. On the other side, we've got one of our resident Hardened Scales player. She has kind of done some Simic versions, some Gruul versions, some kind of like mono black, almost colorless style with, you know, so lots of different ones. But here is one of the fun reasons to go with some red to the list is we're going to go from the Magus. And you notice that the Urza Saga was on 2, so that was all lined up perfectly. But we're going to say, hey, thank you for that. We'll just shoot that with a lightning bolt, and we're good to go here. So basically going through and kind of responding a lot, answering a lot of the threats that are played. But you can see up at the very top, we do have a little bit of a token representing our clues there. So slightly off camera there, but, you know, we're doing our best to try to adjust. And this was filmed before we did our adjustments to the size of the playing area. So there is that to look forward to as we will start to get a little bit more. There's still a lot in the queue that is, you know, a little bit smaller in scale there. But we got Pithing Needle coming out off of the Urza Saga. I like the idea of just getting an aggressive Pithing Needle. You know, we can be able to name Tamiyo. Not this version, of course, the Planeswalker flip side that does, you know, cause a bit of problems. But all right, and we okay, we got a Rumble to be able to cast as well, so we're trying to get some you know, set up here, and that's going to get hit with a hard cast Force to Negation, exiling the Rumbles, put a stop to any card advantage that might come across, and Springleaf Drum is going to be the follow-up here. So, yeah, we're kind of dumping our hand, trying to get something to stick as the Hardened Scales player. Now, we did see that she mulliganed to 5, so a tough way to start things off there. But so far, we're starting to piece stuff together. Like, an Ozolith already on the battlefield makes a big difference. Arcbound Ravager sticking. And we're going to crack a clue, draw a card, and there's the Fatal Push. So that, again, some of the other powerful Grixis stuff. We're going to do a response and Galvanic Blast in response to make sure that we can get rid of that Tamiyo. So, again, the Gruul gets a little bit of tools that you might not normally see in some Hardened Scales lists. But if you like the content that we've got, we do have gameplay every Monday and Thursday for some modern actions, variety of different decks showing up on the channel here. But we've, of course, got Tamiyo again sticking for our wizard player. Their whole goal is to be able to kind of get a wizard to stick around and then profit from there. But, hey, a Bowmaster, again, the most powerful stuff that you can do within these color pie, we're going to be doing it. Bowmaster going to shoot that Haywire Might, which, you know, dies, so we do gain 2 life off of it, but the beats are coming. All right, attempt to cast an Ancient Stirrings. We are currently hellbent and looking for a threat. The question was, do we do something funny or stupid? So that is always the question when we're playing, especially if we're playing on camera, whether or not we should be doing something fun or stupid. Okay, I like this idea. Go for the Hangerback Walker. We can't cast it at the moment. Ooh, that's a bit of a blowout here. Flame of Anor will destroy this. Draw some cards. I guess it's not as bad as it could have been, right? It could have blown up the Ozolith and killed our creature. Then we really would have had nothing going for us. But yeah, Flame of Anor is an amazing card. If you have not had a chance to cast it or play with a wizard package, you should consider it. My wizard package that I'm running is in my Splinter Twin. I've got a Izzet Splinter Twin. I've shaved down some of the numbers on the Twin package. I think I'm on like 3-3, like 3 Deceivers, 3 Splinter Twins, and then it's just Izzet Wizards with like some Murktides and, you know, like basically saying, here's this other stuff that I'm doing in addition. But yeah, with the subtlety, that'll just basically say no. That'll say no to that. We're gonna put a stop to that. Game 1 up, already done. Going to sideboards. Of course, we do cut out the sideboard stuff for players, so we don't get to see the cards that they bring in. We tend to see those after the match, so you can see a little bit. Of course, deck lists are available for you guys to check out on our Mox Field. The link's in the description. But if you are interested in seeing, you know, a list and it might not be on the channel, maybe I've been slacking, you know, traveling, doing more editing, and I've missed out on putting a specific list up there, leave a comment, let me know. Ooh, the Savage Summoning. I've gotten blown out by this card more times than I can count. It can't be countered, and the creature that you cast can't be countered. And it enters with an extra +1 counter, so, like, what a way to go. And just be like, yep, I am here. Hope you're cool with me actually popping up and getting threats on the board quickly. But push is going to get used. We'll shoot in response. The Patchwork Automaton, also really great threat for a Hardened Scales list. I'm currently running, I want to say 3 in my list. Maybe you should be running 4, but it's like, I don't know. I'm on the Simic version right now, so I have things like, you know, a Kappa Cannoneer on the top end and some Emeries in there. So, like, I had to find slots to shave somewhere, and that was one of the ways to do it. But I think if you're on, like, a Gruul list right now, until some of these Edge of Eternity cards come out, you can get away with running a playset of that. Now, Edge of Eternities, it's got some really cool cards, really sweet artwork in it, but also there's some spoilers coming out for Spider-Man set. So, you know, I'm pumped, excited to start getting my hands on Edge of Eternity and start playing with that. I'm pumped and excited to start seeing more spoilers for the Spider-Man. I, of course, am a huge nerd, hence our NanMans Nerd Corner, where we collect all the things nerdy related and do have a bit of a Spider-Man collection. Of course, trade backs, but also the Singleton issues. We haven't collected in a long time since we've gotten heavier into Magic the Gathering, but we do have, you know, leading up to that 700th edition of The Amazing Spider-Man and the start of Superior Spider-Man and that Doc Ock and Death of Peter Parker story arc that existed there, you know, pre kind of the Spider-Verse shenanigans that was existing. And that awesome little bit of story arc and everything going on with that. But yeah, if you guys want, you know, we'll be making some videos up on our Instagrams and the TikTokies and the Blue Skies related to more of that kind of history with Spider-Man and some of the characters and stuff like that, if you are interested in that sort of content there. But getting back to this game, our Gruul. Nope, not even Gruul. Grixis Wizards attempting to Thoughtseize our Gruul Hardened Scales player to get some disruption going, and we do get to see a little bit of Galvanic as well as stripping away the Hangerback Walker here. But we do have a bit of a threat coming out. Arcbound Ravager going to be attempting to get used. Now, the Patchwork Automaton having Ward 2 really does make a big difference here. It says, let's see, what do you got in your graveyard? Should I be worried about? That's the thing with the, you know, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Not only can you help your creatures grow, get them a little bit of flexibility, turn them into, you know, scary things, but you can also kind of try to keep your opponent in check a little bit by disrupting some of their, graveyard hates and stuff, like by, hating out and going, oh, I'll strip away an instant or sorcery if I'm worried about a Snapcaster or if I'm worried about a Murktide and stuff like that. I don't believe that this Grixis Wizard list is running any Murktides at this moment. It's very kind of like tempo based, oriented in kind of the spells that it's slinging across the table. That's another card that, like, this Hardened Scales player, she swears by certain things, like Savage Summoning and this, what is that card? It's the land from, I don't know. Oh, they're starting to this is where the things go off the deep end. We start getting into music lyrics and going crazy here, but the oh my gosh, I can't even remember what the name of this set is. It was a Assassin's Creed. Got there. All right. Oof. Oh man, that one hurt my brain. But yeah, there's certain cards that just, like, I never see play outside of, like, Commander or things like that. But, like, that's one of those that, like, Hardened Scales players, or specifically one of our resident Hardened Scales players at the shop, has been like, yep, this is great, and they basically show us every single time that it's great when she's able to return something scary from the graveyard. But all right, some surveil action coming off for our wizard, pitching some lands, drawing off the frog, doing the stuff, attempting to put a counter on it, but can't actually, because we actually played it last turn. So, pay attention. Sometimes your opponents might be making mistakes. Got to catch them. All right, bringing the beats. 4 lands in hand. Yep, that'll do it. All right, scoop it up. Game 3, tied up 1-1 here.
Fun fact, during the entire time you should sing harder, better, faster, stronger, but the Kanye West version.
But what if instead I sing Hatsi Nishkizab by Icky Mel?
Okay, but only, I will accept that, but only if Nam puts the karaoke lyrics on screen while you're singing.
Sadly, I do not have karaoke lyrics because my German skills are non-existent.
I'm going to be doing unisex call because my favorite lyric is in there, which is es ist Icky Mel, bitch. Come on, ficky ficky do pitch.
For all those German viewers, right? All the Germans in chat, let us. I can't put lyrics up on the screen. I apologize. My German skills are non-existent. So if anybody was paying enough attention or can speak German or know what song that they're even talking about, let us know in chat, because it all went over my head. And I listened, played it back so many times to try to listen and be like, what song is she even talking about?
In this match. So chat, I don't know.
Average cost of Savage Summoning.
Chat, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the math that Pokemon runs to see how many times the Pokeball will shake when you attempt to catch a Pokemon.
Explain Euler's number.
Can't.
Can't?
Can't.
What? Why can't you?
Because I don't know it.
All right, so there we go. We got to keep a little bit of the shenanigans in for all of you guys watching at home. Again, a bit of the meminess going on and banter, and that's kind of some of the stuff that happens, of course, in between matches that we're often cutting out, that you're missing out of just the players kind of joking and messing with each other and having conversations.
Nan, can you insert the Scooby-Doo meme where the gang is around a table looking at the camera?
There you go, some Scooby-Doo memes for everybody. I don't like it. Yeah, but that's the other thing too, is like...
Yeah, but he's also right beside us right now. And he's just hearing about...
But yeah, the memes, the silliness going on of being at the LGS and players talking to me in the future while I'm also there and trying to play my match and trying to figure out, okay, what are they talking to me right now? No, they're talking to the future version of me, asking me to put in Scooby-Doo memes and, talking about song lyrics that I don't know. I don't know. My German skills are non-existent. All right, Patchwork attempting to get played, but will be hit with a spell snare there. And then a fatal push to get rid of Zabaz. So that's the Grixis list just has so much removal and so much disruptions, so many ways to kind of like keep this Gruul Hardened Scales deck in check, at least for the time being. You know, we'll see as the game goes on. Things do lean heavier in the Wizard package and their ability to get back into things because of, you know, having access to the frogs, stuff like that, where normally either they'd have to rely pretty much on Flame of Anor and that's it. Hence, do we get a hanger back? Yes, but no. You may have it, but it will die. Orcish Bowmaster will come out, ping for 1, turn it into a Thopter, bring the beats of 2 damage. No way to block. Well, I mean, no way to block. No need to block, I guess we should say. Hey, here's another Ink Moth. I see a Savage Summoning in hand. Oh, okay. Oh, Soul Cauldron hit with the Spell Snare. Oh, having both the Spell Snares, that's rough. All right, bring the beats. Ooh, Cling to Dust, great card. You know, again, I run it in my Murktide list, but it fits great here. Basically, 1 black mana, exile something annoying, and draw a card off it. Or you can gain some life if you really need to. Most of the times you won't be drawing cards or gaining life, you'll be drawing cards, but, you know, having that flexibility, maybe you run into a burn deck or something at your LGS, it could be useful.
Chat, if you pause the video right now, I've won. Yep.
All right, bringing the beats. 2 damage coming across. Okay, attempt. Oh, Arcbound going to attempt to get used. We have a hard cast subtlety, which will put the Arcbound on the bottom. It doesn't necessarily need to come out at the moment. Yes, Arcbound with a Ink Moth gives us another avenue of just being able to like infect our opponent, but it is really risky trying to go that route against a Grixis list like this, because it's you're fighting against Lightning Bolt, you're fighting against Fatal Push, you're fighting against Flame of Anor. Like there's, speaking of which, there's a Fatal Push. Oh my god, I pushed this off the cliff. Oh, the that's the other thing. Our Grixis Wizard player also, you know, we've seen them play non-Grixis lists. Of course, they were running the new Final Fantasy, you know, amulets, or, you know, Primeval Titans there. So, like, they big fan of the Final Fantasy cards. So they've got the Fatal Pushes with the Final Fantasy art. All right, bringing the beats. Hey, we got a green source for all the green cards we've got in hand. Says you're going to 9. Hey, just so you know, you're in Snapcaster Bolt range.
Don't even fret that one. What? We're talking about music theory now?
All right, what are we deploying? A Hardened Scales, perfect. Great way to kind of try to get our get us back into it. But Bolt's gonna get used. Drops to 6. Snapcaster. Oh no! Oh no! There's another Bolt.
No, you cannot
Uncast. Cast this Tameo safekeeping. Oh. Wow, that's rough. That's rough. Bolt snap bolt in 2025, still legitimate strategy. We've learned. There we go. We got to see a little bit of all the green cards that were there: Savage Summoning, Tameo Safekeeping, and the Hardened Scales. So a lot of really powerful cards. Just not able to cast until the very end, when it didn't even matter with the Bolt Snap Bolt there. But we get to see some of the sideboard shenanigans consigned to memories. We see some Thoughtseize pulling in here, the Savage Summoning over on the Hardened Scales guide, as well as the Tameo Safekeeping. So quite a bit of the nice little, some Golgari. Why am I saying Golgari? My brain's all discombobulated there. Getting things all twisted up here. But hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of the Mimi, little bit of fun that we had here for this episode. Of course, we do have more gameplay every Monday and Thursday for you to enjoy. But that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next game.